Hey guys, it's Ben. It is Friday, March 20th, and I'm back to play the harmonica with you guys a little bit more. So I know I did not post a video yesterday, um, and that's, my fault. Time got away from me yesterday. But the good news is um, we dedicated ourselves to practicing 6 days a week, so if you screw up one day, you just jump right back on the horse the next. And yesterday will be my off day for this week. Now I just got to make sure that I get all of the other days. That's one of the reasons that I recommend practicing 6 days instead of seven, or rather committing to practicing 6 days instead of seven. That way, if you miss one, it's not a catastrophe. It is really hard to make up practice, so it's generally not a good idea to, skip a day and then think that you're going to practice twice as much the next day. Just write it off. So we missed yesterday. We got to be really sure to practice every other day this week. However, yesterday was Thursday, and on Thursdays we talk theory. So since we missed yesterday and we're kind of making up for it today, we're going to talk theory a little bit today. And what I wanted to talk about is the idea of keys. So I've mentioned several times that I have 7 different harmonicas that play in 7 different keys. So what does that mean for the completely uninitiated? What does it mean for a harmonica to be in a key, and why do we have to have separate ones for each key? Okay, so we're going to start by talking about our C harp, which is the one, again, that the book is written for and that we've mostly been playing out of. So I mentioned at the beginning that C contains all of the natural notes, which would be the ones who are named, or which are named with just letters. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. No sharps, no flats. You can also think of this as being the white keys on a piano. And so those are the 7 notes that are contained here on the C major harp. And so when we play a major scale on it, it's gonna give us this very familiar do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do pattern. It goes like this. Getting a little better at getting one note at a time. Still having some issues. But that's going to give you that major scale pattern that everyone who's ever listened to Western music is familiar with as sort of building blocks of the major key, which is the principal way that we organize music. Now, if I play in a different key, like I'm going to pick G, this is in the key of G, which is slightly different than the key of C. But if I play that same pattern, it's going to sound more or less the same. Oh, that's not right. All right. However, what we just played there was G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. So that collection of notes differs from C in one important respect, which is that we replaced our F with our F sharp. Still, these two harps share 6 of their 7 notes. 6 of their 7 notes are the same. And so we would say that these are very closely related keys. Other keys are much further apart. So if I go to my E harmonica, this is going to have 4 sharps in it, right? So only 3 of the notes are natural notes. So it only shares 3 notes with the C harmonica. So these are much further apart. However, there's more to a key than just the collection of notes that are in it. It also matters what the position of those notes are. So, for instance, if we get into modal theory a little bit, or talk about the minor scale, C major and A minor have all of the same notes. A minor is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, which is the same set of notes as C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. However, C major and A minor are not the same key. They are relatives. We would say that A is the relative minor of C, and that C is the relative major of A, because they share all of the same notes. But those notes are in a different position, and that matters because your ear is going to orient on the home note and the home chord, which would be 1. And so in the key of C major, that is the chord C major and the note C, whereas in the key of A minor, the note that's going to sound like home is A, and the chord that's going to sound like home is A minor. And so that becomes really important with the harmonica, because even though that C harp and that G harp share 6 of their 7 notes, those notes are in radically different positions. So our blow notes on our C harp are C, E, and G, which are the notes of a C major chord, whereas our blow notes on the G harp are G, B, and D, which are the notes of a G major chord. And those blow notes, which make up your 1 chord, are what's going to give you your point of reference for finding yourself in the key. So keys are actually built out of a pattern of whole steps and half steps. So you can think of a half step as being 2 notes that are right next to each other on a piano, or 2 adjacent frets on a guitar, and a whole step as being notes where you have to skip a note in between, right? So either going up 2 frets on the guitar or skipping over a note on the piano. Now that note might be a black key, so that's why in the key of C major, we are actually skipping over notes, even though we use every letter. We are actually skipping over notes as we go up. We're skipping over those black keys. So the way you get your pattern of intervals is the major scale is always going to be whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So in the guitar, you can think of that as whatever your starting note is, go up 2 frets, go up 2 frets, go up 1 fret, 2 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret. And on the piano, it's the same thing. 2 keys, 2 keys, 1 key, 2 keys, 2 keys, 2 keys, 1 key. Now, how does that land us on all the white notes, for instance, in the key of C? And the answer is because there are 2 black keys missing. If you look at a piano, you'll notice that there's no black key between E and F. There's also no black key between B and C. So that's how we get the key of C, by following that pattern, skipping over all of the black notes. If you start on a different note but follow that same pattern of skips and steps, you'll get a different combination of white keys and black keys, which means a different set of notes. So the thing I want you guys to come away with is this idea that a key means 2 things. First of all, it means the collection of 7 notes that you're using. Well, at least in the major scale, it's always 7. The set of 7 notes that you're using. But the second thing that a key is it is a home note and a home chord, which your ear is going to hear as the center of the key and measure everything else against. Our different harmonicas are different in both those respects. They have some notes that are different. If they're closely related keys, it'll only be a few notes, but even the notes they share will be in different positions, and that will orient your ears on different notes and different chords. We will be returning to this concept a little bit later, but I've hit the 10-minute mark, so until tomorrow, I'll see you guys later. Bye.